Greetings, seekers of truth. Hey dear friends, welcome to our uncovering of the shocking truths hidden behind the extravagant estate of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Back in the saddle, everyone, as we kick things off, our scorcher of information form the royal tapestry. Get ready for King Charles to come down hard on sly Meghan Markle into a shocking inferno. But before we dive into this discovery, if you haven't already, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our powerful content. Except we know how that journey will end, so let's return to the chaotic events before the craziest trooping the color the world had ever seen. Not going to be upstaged by all the negative publicity over the racism that is forced onto her, and thwarted in her lurid glory, she demanded a center balcony spot in a bid to redeem the past. But her own divisive behavior had obviated any possibility of that grace. She now dared to blackmail. Word is she had threatened to go on a worldwide crusade if she was not given the front and center spot in the prestigious event because she wanted Kate's silence to rub her own boner brighter. It was a deliberately divisive move intended to fracture the family and stir up yet more trouble. It was clear that she was trying to sow discord in the family and attack the future king. However, at last, Prince Charles showed determination when she rebuilt the house with an unwavering courage. The revelation of Meghan's exorbitant requests was reportedly the final straw, as Prince Charles lost his temper, slammed the door in rage and defended the Princess of Wales. In the harsh tone he had ever used, he denounced her effrontery, with his advisors and Camilla at his side. He was literally explosive in his fury and could not contain his anger throughout the confrontation. Prince Charles berated the false intentions of Meghan, making firm in a fit of emotional rage. Adding fuel to the fire were the Thomas Markle genes, and he pulled no punches, getting straight to business, taking her on with a heated shot of backhand and uppercut. And Prince Charles embodied the savage spirit of his brood, soaring above the tumult with a royal savagery that could not be subdued. Kate embodies the epitome of how one can display real resilience and grace in the most challenging and personal circumstances. While back at the room, the camera is all over the walls and the individual in question rages round his manager, seeking attention in other ways such as irrelevant antics and scandalous behavior. Madam Shameless? Has no shame? Charles stood tall, righteously regal, the very essence of kingliness in all its blazing paternal wrath and uncompromising moral core for it to behold, which is to say, it left us lowly commoners in awe. The post was an impassioned response to Meghan's behavior, a literal "how dare you" riposte that landed with a slam that echoed throughout the room. Charles summed up by delivering what would have been a final blow to her any remaining credibility, warning that the rallying call of her and any defiance of the Queen and the Crown would not be acceptable. Charles had sent Meghan a clear and concise message. He was ignoring the bumbling messaging to tell Meghan in no uncertain terms. He ordered her to stop blackmailing and stop bloody showboating, or he would strip her of her crown allegiance, in so many words. Charles, displaying the full force and power of the monarch, told Diana he would wipe her out, so completely he would even remove her name and image from your family's tree. The event seemed to point at a calculated, no-nonsense aggressive Charles from royal security with possible conspiracy to undermine sensitive information, him to finally confront Meghan's obvious opposition. There were speculations about taking desperate measures to curb her attitude by dealing with her decisively as possible. She thinks Charles was so determined he might even have had her killed. This escalation marked a clear sign that the monarchy was breaking away from any notion of reconciliation toward Meghan, with a strong determination to cast her off permanently from the royal family. The fierce and determined hostility shown by Charles famously marked a momentous point of no return, in an unequivocal, unambiguous message that Meghan's actions had been deemed to be a very severe existential threat, which must be met with eradication as a matter of complete urgency. And they do so with such a relentless, obsessive, compulsive vengeance in a way that shames and betrays her from the inside out of the institution. It's almost like each bit of criticism, every scandal, and all bad press is the straw that breaks the camel's back, tearing away at what pride Mariah has left. Oh, and you know what would be poetic karma? If, from these nuclear-level eruptions from the king, Meghan were to just ghost, double meaning, disappear, quietly, into the oblivion of desperation D-list purgatory she has always truly belonged to, this bizarre chapter in English history would be over before it had even really truly begun. What an ironic fate, spending such despicable administration resources to clawing your way back to the delusion of grandeur. The worst possible thing happens is becoming the irrelevant, progressively more deranged footnote. And she would be howling into the void, a whisper of what she used to be, a torrent of betrayals washing her bare of any remaining flesh but her own caustic thoughts. Yet as we know, Meghan is not one who goes quietly into that good night. She is the fight itself. There is no cause for which she will not fight, and she'll fight to the last breath to stave off the monarchical war of annihilation, for she is not aware of any diet other than status and attention. She is too mired in her self-obsessed victimhood complexes to even begin to understand shame or true dignity. Each little slight, whether real or perceived, is just one more way to fan the flames of her persecution complex. And so, as always, prepare for the deluge of orchestrated outrage and martyrdom you are bound to see over the next few weeks out of the Montecito mansion. Ain't no stoppin', won't stop them crocodile truth tearjerker campaigns to try and manage the narrative and gaslight her way right back into some form of power and credibility. We know the obnoxious playbook backwards and forwards at this point. It is all so very ritualized, an emotional and carefully planned torrent of feelings, an orchestrated media leak, a highly selective victim narrative intended to engender public support and divert eyes from her own deplorable behavior. This is only going to devolve into a full-on bare-knuckle brawl between the monarchy's roots and her cancerous cult of ego narcissism. Ultimately we are seeing an ideological struggle in decay rather than just a fall person. History, a centuries-old institution struggling for its relevance and ethics in the midst of today. On the other, a singular force of ego using every dirty trick in the book to spin the public narrative and recapture her place in the court of public opinion. It is a sight both tragic and a little bit remarkable, evidence that men will leap out of their skins from sheer vanity. With no end in sight, the soap opera will just keep on rolling on with even more sensational chapters to come. Meghan's relentless quest for importance means the drama will continue, great fodder for tabloids, but dire news for those longing for a return to inanity. It is a war of attrition with not reputations at stake, but the very warp and woof of public trust in the institutions that rule us. The truth is we will only know in time. Will Meghan's unyielding scheming win out over those events, or will her chickens finally come on home to roost? Of this we can be sure, the road ahead is going to be a battleground, and that part is far from guaranteed or precise, but as we observe this farce, we only understand even more clearly the universal principle that power, once consumed, is not simple to prepare, as well as those that duel for it, go to such terrible lengths to keep it. We are not able to offer partial refunds in this great, existential struggle of crown and country. So you know what? If this is Meghan Markle's Waterloo, if King Charles has finally mustered that long-lost crown, Precambrian virility of his to end her scorch earth campaign once and for all, then God bless. No fucking Frankenstein politics, but I will not begrudge even the most vile insult or trench-dug battle line. This blood feud is now a battle for survival. For her brutal character assassination though, she has literally desecrated any common grounds that used to exist. Those handshake agreements are long gone, having been buried in the deep evil she has wielded by her oblivious rampage. Well now, it is time to fight fire with royal fire and to bury this poisonous tumor forever. We can all take off our hats to King Charles, who found his backbone and gave her a well-deserved dressing down for behaving like a perpetual blue blood. If he does manage to stay, this committed to disassembling her reputation and exiling her from all things royal forever, then God help him. You see, the only workable alternative would be to continue allowing her to cynically leech off the very existence she publicly sneers at and hates. That is just one step too far to have destroyed. For years, Meghan Markle has been out here trying to burn the goddamn crown to the ground just to get in the news, spitting in the face of strong institutions that deserve nothing but lies on its head, and now she must be made an example of what the path eventually sows. Let us know what you think. What are your thoughts on this? Comment, and let me know what you think. In the meantime, look out for more jaw-dropping stories and breaking news on our YouTube channel. Make sure you like, share and subscribe to us for all the latest from the world of the royal family. Thanks for watching. Until then, we'll be back with even more royal family news. Bye for now.